You ever find yourself in your apartment and wonder, what about the lights in the hallway or the elevator? Who's actually paying for that power? It seems like a simple question, right? But it has a really fascinating answer. And today, we're going to solve that little puzzle by looking at the invisible rules that power our shared lives. See, inside your own place, it's pretty straightforward. You flip a switch, you get a bill, you pay it. But what about the power just on the other side of your front door? Well, that's where things get interesting. And the answer really gets to the heart of how we all manage to live together in shared buildings. And this isn't just some casual question you'd ponder. Believe it or not, there's a very specific, official answer that every single electrician has to follow. It's a rule that was literally designed to keep things fair, safe, and simple for everyone involved. So, where does a rule like this even come from? It comes from the official rulebook for, well, all things electrical, the National Electrical Code. You'll often hear it called the NEC. You can think of the NEC as the ultimate authority on electricity. It's the standard that makes sure every single wire and every circuit is installed correctly, not just to keep us all safe, but to make sure everything just works the way it's supposed to. Now, the code itself is massive, so we're not going to read the whole thing. We're going to zero in on the one rule that directly answers our question, Section 210.25. This is the rule that draws a really clear line in the sand between your power and the building's shared power. The whole idea behind this rule is really simple: separation. It basically builds this invisible electrical wall between your private space, your apartment, and all the public spaces you share with your neighbors. And the rule creates this super clear division. The circuits that power your apartment can only power things inside your unit. And on the flip side, the circuits for common areas can only power things in those shared spaces. It's kind of like having your own personal wallet versus a shared house fund. The two are never, ever supposed to mix. All right, so let's dig into the official text for a second. Part A of the rule is all about the power inside your home. Okay, I know that sounds a little bit like legal jargon, but it's actually pretty simple. A branch circuit, that's just the wiring that goes from a circuit breaker in your panel to all the outlets and lights in your apartment. And a load, that's just anything that uses electricity, your TV, your fridge, you name it. So the key takeaway here is this: the breakers in your panel are only for your stuff. That hallway light, it is not allowed to be wired to your apartment circuit breaker, period. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. Part B covers the power for all those common areas. And this is just the flip side of the first rule. What it's saying is that electricity for those shared spaces, the lobby, the laundry room, it absolutely cannot come from any individual apartment's panel. Instead, the building has to have its own separate panel, which electricians usually call a house panel, just for all those common area loads. Okay, but that's a fair question, right? What exactly is a common area? The term can feel a little bit vague. But don't worry, the NEC doesn't leave it up to guesswork. It actually gives a really helpful list of examples. And here they are. The code specifically points to places you'd expect, like lobbies, hallways, and stairways. But it also includes stuff you might not think about, like the building's roof, the elevator, driveways and parking areas, and even the mechanical rooms. All of these things have to be powered by that separate, shared electrical system. So we get the rule, but why does it even exist? I mean, why go to all the trouble of separating these circuits? Well, it turns out this one little rule gives us 3 huge benefits that affect everyone in the building. First up, and this is probably the one you've been thinking about, it's all about simple fairness. This brings us right back to our original question. Because of this rule, you can rest easy knowing your electricity bill only reflects the power you actually use inside your own 4 walls. You're not secretly paying to light up the lobby or run the building's elevator. That cost is handled completely separately by building management, usually through things like rent or condo fees. Okay, benefit number 2 is a huge one, and it's all about safety and reliability. Just picture this for a second. What if the hallway lights were wired to your neighbor's apartment? If they plugged in one too many things and tripped a breaker, the entire hallway would suddenly go pitch black. That's a serious safety hazard. By keeping each unit's power isolated, an electrical problem in one apartment stays in that apartment. It doesn't affect anyone else. And last but not least, benefit number 3, this rule just makes life so much easier for everybody, especially when things go wrong. Think about it. If a light goes out in the laundry room, the maintenance crew can go directly to that shared house panel to figure it out and fix it. They don't need to knock on your door. They don't need to ask to come inside your home. It makes repairs way faster, so much easier, and a lot less intrusive for everyone. So there you have it. It's a really simple but kind of brilliant system when you think about it. Your home's power is yours and yours alone. All the shared spaces run on shared power. And it's this fundamental separation that guarantees fairness, safety, and simplicity for everybody living there. So the next time you walk down a brightly lit hallway, you'll know the secret, that invisible rule that makes it all work so seamlessly. And it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? What other brilliant systems are all around us, just quietly making our world function?